Look at what happened with Emmett Till. All these things that white people did to us, they got away with it. So we need to have some get back. And it started kind of with O.J. Simpson. We got to side with the black man. And so when we saw that it was a thing that worked, when is the last time we went against the black man? Think about it. The last time we said.
You literally just said it though, Tommy, that like it's been so many times that we feel like they've gotten over on us that okay, maybe like let's defend it. And even we got it wrong. You know what? Man, fuck it. I mean, we got like look at the scoreboard. They got 10 on us. I mean, even if we are fucking wrong, what does that matter, man? They fucked up 10, 15 times on us. Like, that's only one that we fuck up on. Fuck it.
Hey, I'm talking to you, Brian. That's a perfect analogy. That's a perfect analogy. I was watching last night the Lakers game, and it was what was that nigga name? I forgot what his name was.
Who? I was watching.
He just dunked in that white boy face.
Austin Reeves.
Yeah, he dunked in that white boy face, all in his face. Now I knew it was a charge, and the white boy stood to the charge. But all I kept saying was, get it to him. Don't call that charge. And the ref was thinking the same thing I did. He not only didn't call a charge, he called a block. Now what they did was they went to the replay and the ref had to overturn it because it was obvious the white man was there. But you just got dunked on like that. And I think what happened is a lot of times we say, well, earlier y'all had a bad call against Steph. That was a bad call that happened against the Warriors. Give it to them. So I think that's a really good analogy.
You remember that Javante Davis fight, Tommy, where he dropped on his knee and then
Buddy still hit him.
Yeah, but Buddy fell on his knee later on too.
Yep.
Later on, look, he fell on his knee too. It was like you said, it's just like it's at this point like they just like fuck it. They already came up on us.
Mm-hmm.
To answer your question about when was the last time somebody went against a black man, I can tell you that when it was a black woman involved.
No, that's what I'm saying. We talking about the scoreboard of the white folks.
Okay. I got you. All right. I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
The only time a black dude did right was when he did it to a white person. And especially if he did it to a white woman, black women really like that.
Facts. It's facts.
Yeah. What was you about to say, Chris?
What was you saying, Chris?
I was just saying 2 wrongs don't make it right. Someone's got to
tell them they said, but 3 lefts make one.
3 rights to make a left.
Man. That don't make it equal. Does that make it equal now?
It don't make it equal, but it shows right.
And here's my thing to it too, just to show how disingenuous we are. If this was the turn the other way around,
right?
Even if it would have been fisticuffs, there would have been all niggas would have been saying is, yeah, but he bought a knife though. Why not fight head up? If he going hands on, then he should just be throwing hands. What you bring a knife in it for? So it's the same thing. It's like let's just put both of them at their worst. Let's just say that they're both complete and utter assholes. My man wanted to go up under their tent because he like, fuck that. I ain't going nowhere. It's a tent and I'm up in here. And let's just say the other kid was like, hey, fuck that. I ain't gonna let no nigga be in my tent because he a nigga. This is a white-only tent. Let's just say that. If it gets to the point to where you're gonna go hands-on and you are afraid for your life, you would either leave because you have a way to leave, but if you stay and you talking cash shit, you standing your ground and you ready to kill this dude. You thinking I want to murk this dude. You didn't swipe the knife and try to get away. You didn't just swing the knife. You stabbed my man in the heart. You shanked him. You hit him with that tip and took off. That's what it was. The part
is he didn't give the white boy a chance to even say to him, I won't deny.
I won't deny.
He didn't give him a chance.
Sure, my man hit him with the dagger and walked the fuck off.
So there is one thing though that I do question, and because I read it and I think you said, Brian, is and maybe you can explain it, but how do we get to first degree murder over second? Because that means he would have had a thought about killing this kid from the beginning.
Yeah, it would be
second degree murder means it kind of popped off.
But it's in the moment.
They charged him with first degree though, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, no, they gonna find that it's gonna be hard to make that stick. Yeah, because first degree murder means I've been thinking about fucking your ass up since Tuesday, and it's now Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm premeditated. But what they may try to say is that he premeditated when he pulled the knife out, but that to me is gonna be real weak. They need to go with second degree.
Yeah, but if you give a jury that kind of, it's gonna make it difficult because it's already they got some sympathy for him, and now you're gonna tell them because what you say premeditated murder is, the standard is very high. Now they also say within premeditated murder though that it can be formulated within an instant.
Yep.
But you don't want to play that game.
Yes, exactly. Because this is at the end of the day, this is still a kid, and I would go with the sure win. I would go with the sure thing, which would be 2.
But let's flip it though, Brian. I didn't think about it. Premeditated when you said what you said, Tommy, in the instant. Once he told Buddy, touch me and see what happened, is he now premeditated what he's gonna do to him?
But that's where it's gonna come into play though. He premeditated to murder? Was his intent to murder him?
What? Wait.
Think about how fast he did it though. Once he did touch him.
Yeah, because to think about it, that's why if they did charge him, that's what they would be saying. That he stated, "Touch me again, see what happened."
And he touched him, and it was.
And he grabbed the knife as he was saying this. Now he still could say, "I wasn't intending to kill him. I was just intending to injure him."
Yeah.
Like guns are difficult on that front because they say, because guns is you shoot somebody, there's a high probability they'll die from it,
right?
From the way that they'll say it. But they say, a knife is different. You kind of survive this. You got to be aiming at the perfect spots. And he say, "Well, I wasn't aiming at his chest. He moved."
Exactly. And if this was some special forces trained dude that knew how to land that death blow, then yes, you could get away with that. But it's gonna be hard to try to say this 17-year-old knew, stab his ass in the heart or to hit him in the femoral artery or in the jugular to get him out of here where they can't do nothing. It's gonna be hard to try to prove that with a 17-year-old kid to say he knew that he was delivering a lethal blow.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris, and then my man Patrick. I see you done jumped up in. What up, Pat?
What's going on?
So you said that he moved, right? Like, so it was like almost like an accident stabbing.
No, I'm saying he could say that. He hasn't said that.
Yeah.
I'm saying if he got any kind of lawyer's worth his salt, I was not aiming for his heart.
Right.
Because it was like he stabbed him in the chest and said, "Are you okay?" It's like, really? What?
No, they said he stabbed him in the chest, but he asked the police officer.
Once they caught his ass, was he okay? Yeah.
So that helps him out greatly.
That does. Yep. Because that would prove that he wasn't trying to kill him if he asked about him. That shows some concern about somebody that you don't even know.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Bitch, get off me."
Well, if I was a prosecutor, I would say, well, he was just after the fact scared, like, well, did he die? Are they going to charge me with murder, or is this just attempted murder? Like, it could have been something like that. Like, they'll probably make that argument as well. I mean, you could construe it any kind of way. These people will do any kind of thing.
I'm hearing that you do not have to know that your act will kill the person. Yeah, but that don't you? I'm asking, doesn't that not knowing that your act would kill the person would literally take first degree off the table?
I think so. Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, but I think so. I think what you're saying is correct, because if that person, if you don't have to know that it would kill, I didn't know it would kill him. Yeah, but what you still did it, and that's what I think is where it's going to be hard to try to. And this is where this is a kid that we're talking about now.
Right.
And we're talking about a team being involved in this incident. It's going to be really hard to paint this kid as a cold-blooded killer and saying he knew what he was doing. And that's essentially what they're going to have to do. Like I said, this ain't no hood-ass school. This ain't no, super predator environment. These kids are in an affluent suburb here in Texas.
So first of all, though, Brian, he's 17, so he's gonna probably be charged as an adult, right? That's one.
I don't know because I think there's a law
They do
here.
that in Georgia.
Yeah,
They
I'm
do
gonna
that
say
shit.
sometimes they can get a 17-year-old still as a child. I seen
They
them do
will
it.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think there's a
Definitely
law
charge him
here.
as an adult.
No, I think there's a
seen them
law here though that you can't.
that girls that dragged that old white woman. They charged them as kids, and they were
Yeah,
17.
They always take into consideration the act and the
Right.
situation
yeah.
over the person's age, because they've charged 14, 15-year-olds with as
As an
adults
adult.
before,
But I think
depending on what the crime was.
I think there's now a different process to get to that, to where they kind of got to prove like a kid's track record, kid's criminal history, before you could just say, no, we're going to charge your ass as a full-on adult, and the day you turn 18, we're going to send your ass to the big house. I think there's a process that takes place in between that, to where you can't just get charged with murder and get charged as an adult and then that's it. So I think they have to like vet something out. If I'm not I could be mistaken, but I think there's something that changed to where you just can't send a kid up and charge him as an adult. And
I think you're right generally, but that is Texas, man. They used to be
Yeah.
they execute retarded people over there. They do anything in Texas, so you never know.
hey,
Somebody, Gary said something that's very interesting, and we'll talk to you, Patrick, since you are in here now, and get your thoughts on this. But Gary said, I think at the end of this, nobody's going to like what the verdict is. Go ahead and tell me what you think.
Well, I'm sorry. Were you talking to me or somebody else?
You, Patrick. Your name.
Okay. No, I thought I thought the person you was reading their comment. So
No, I'm reading his comment, but I wanted you to comment on his comment.
yeah, no, he's definitely right about that. I mean, nobody's gonna be, because, like I said, there's a lot of elements in this case that they're gonna be hard pressed to prove. Especially, it is weird that they did charge him with first degree, because what you guys were saying was pretty much on point. From what I know, first degree, like he said, like you said, I would have had to be planning to kill this motherfucker since Tuesday. Like, he would have had to leave his house with the knife, intending to get into a confrontation with this person, at least to make it look like it was an accident. Like, he would have had to do some planning for it to be really premeditated murder. So I'm kind of confused about them charging him with first degree murder. But like I said, in Texas, they might have some kind of different standard there that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, I was about to say, somebody said that they don't think they have like second degree. They just have degrees of that first.
Oh, yeah.
So that may be it. Yeah.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
So I looked that up, Tommy. I'm looking this up while we're talking. Like, I'm literally looking it up, and I think that may be correct. I think what the second degree, which would be for him, is voluntary manslaughter, which means, of course, let me see. Voluntary manslaughter is when someone intentionally kills another person, but the killing happens in a highly emotional or provoked situation, making it different from a murder.
That's like what most places call murder too. Yes.
Yeah.
That means it was in the moment and it escalated, and that's what happened. But you still knew what you was doing. Like, involuntary manslaughter is like by complete accident somebody dies, but that sounds like it.
That might be what he could possibly get.
Yeah.
Second degree murder. But then again, wouldn't they try to charge him with first degree and then hit him with a plea, like take the voluntary manslaughter for, like, to get him up out the way, not to make him go to trial? Like, wouldn't that how they usually do it anyway?
I think they just hit him with that. If they're classing it like that, you just hit them with that. And I think as they gather the evidence and they get those witness statements, I think that'll pretty much dictate as to like, what do we really have him on? And then they can change those charges from that point.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I'm kind of very surprised that there isn't any video of this, considering how things are nowadays. But at the same time, they're saying how quick it happened. It was just a kind of they kind of got loud with words, and all of a sudden the scuffle ensued. But then they said he went into his book bag to go get the knife and came back. Like, I'm kind of confused about the order of operations here.
They said it was 30 seconds.
I wonder too. So was Carmelo, was he running track, or was he just there too, like the football players?
Yeah, they were just there. They weren't running. They weren't in the event or any of that day, which is still weird. That I guess I've been out of school for so long, I didn't know they'd be doing something during the day. Now, here's some more things that I want to let you guys know as we're here. We're going to bring in Sonny to come join us as well. So you guys are here. Anybody who wants to join the panel, you guys make sure your ass ain't in the windstorm.
Right. When this nigga had the quick trip or some shit.
Make sure you ain't out there fighting.
That nigga sound he's at the airport or some shit.
Right.
On the fucking air traffic control or something.
He's on the plane. He's not
Yeah,
in the plane. He's on the plane.
Yeah, he on the lanes and
out
shit
on the
directing.
top, loading luggage.
He got them
Like,
little glow in the glow in the dark batons and shit, moving the planes and shit.
Hey, Tommy,
Oh, here I am. I'm out here in the storm here in Oklahoma. It's tornadoes everywhere. But I got an opinion about this Texas. Oh shit! Hold on a minute. You can't do that. But I do want to bring out some more things. Throw more things out there. Breadcrumbs. Okay. People were arguing that the boy was a 4.0 student, never got in trouble. But they said the boy had already gotten suspended once for bringing a knife to school. What do you guys think that's going to, what do you think what role you think that's going to play? I'll start with, we'll go from the, we'll go straight down below. So we'll go to you, Brian, and then we'll go to Tony, Chris, Pat. Go ahead. What do you think that will play any part to it? Or you think it's just they can't bring it in?
Yeah, I think they will be able to bring it in because that's gonna give precedent. This was a knife carrying, knife wielding motherfucker. So it's like if they're able to do that and bring that in and enter that into evidence because he was suspended for it. So it's not like hearsay. It's not people saying, yeah, Carmelo always had a knife on him. If he got suspended for bringing a knife and was on school grounds and essentially was on school grounds again, had a knife, he damn sure know what to do with it and why he had it. And yeah, that's going to be very damning against him if that is allowed to be entered, which I think it should because that shows the precedent of what he was known to do.
And what he might have been there for.
Yep. And he's not running. And my thing is, I was under the assumption that both of these guys was running track, especially with the linebacker dude being an athlete. I thought he was running because I saw a video of his dad talking about him trying to improve his 40 and all that kind of shit. So that would have been a way for him to do it. But if he's just there because his school is out there showing team spirit, team support, because he the man, one of the most popular kids in school, if not the most popular, then it's like he's there and this kid is there too. What are you doing in a tent if you ain't running track? Because the tent is set up for their school. And you mad because the motherfucker telling you to get out? I don't know.
Tony?
Yeah. So I just did jury duty this past week, so I learned a lot of stuff from doing that. And one of the things, like you just said, is that the defense is going to definitely try to hide that. Like they're gonna want the jury not to hear about that. Basically, they're gonna try to motion to have that removed. But from what I learned, like that will probably definitely stick. They're gonna use that, and then they're gonna, like you said, use that as like a thing that he is constantly doing that, constantly.
Yep.
Bringing type of knives and stuff like that. I had one question. Did they both go to the same high school? Because they don't know each other.
No,
I read that.
This was an ISD meet. This was a Frisco ISD. So it's basically the school district. So all the schools in this particular district are competing.
So he don't go to the Memorial High. He under the Memorial High tent. And then Austin is telling him, get the fuck out of the tent. You're not a part of our school. We don't know each other. And then, so yeah.
Like anybody at any school would do.
Yeah.
I went to Percival Julian. I wish a motherfucker would, from Finger or Corliss, be in our tent. Motherfucker, you got to go. You got to go now.
Yeah.
That is a thing. That is a thing. Now let me add this for the rest of you, Chris and Patrick. I'm gonna go to you, Chris, first. Chris, not only was he not supposed to be carrying a knife because he had already been told, suspended from it, but he wasn't supposed to be out there at all. He was supposed to be in class.
Come on, man.
I'm just giving y'all more information.
No, give me the info.
He's a truant as well. Go and look at him.
So you ain't had to.
But he was supposed to be in class.
I don't know if you ever seen Clerks, Tommy, but he wasn't even supposed to be here today.
He was supposed to be in class.
Oh man, this ain't getting no better. Well, I can say this. In some of these schools, you have that leeway, and it could be a thing like your school could potentially have like off campus lunch. So even though he going to this team event, whatever the case may be, depending on the time of day, him cutting class, though, that's not gonna be good. Because it's gonna be a thing to where your ass wasn't even supposed to be there. You ain't not only on track, you at a track meet under another school tent at a track meet. You ain't even supposed to be it because you're supposed to be a class. Man, that ain't good.
For someone that has a 4-point GPA, like this wasn't a decision. Where'd this come from?
Yeah.
Did a lot of dumb stuff. I really wish I knew a little bit more about it. So if there was a whole bunch of people in each tent from the school, was the school that small that the white boy knew that he didn't go to that school? Did he have on apparel from the other school? Like, how did he just know that this nigga didn't go to my school in the first
because
place?
it's
No niggas at the school.
it ain't no small school. Yeah, it ain't no small school. And there's niggas out there. Niggas again, I'm telling you, I can say this
You
about
don't recognize a nigga from your school.
this area. There's a lot of niggas out here with money. I can definitely tell you that about Texas.
Not one of them.
But
I
yeah,
don't think it's a thing. Is there any? I don't even think there's a thing as a small
You're
Texas school. There's no such thing as a small Texas school, right?
mm-mm.
Yeah, I see Varsity Blues. They got like 3,000 people in the fucking school.
These schools here now are rival to a lot of stadiums, Jack. A lot of college stadiums are rivaled by these schools here. So that's the thing. It's like, it's not a thing to where they wouldn't, it's not a thing of saying, oh, it ain't no niggas at our school. It's just that you gonna know the niggas at your school because especially him being who he is. And I'm quite sure somebody, if it wasn't the kid himself, somebody really like, who the fuck is that dude? Like, he ain't one of our niggas. You know what I mean?
Not one of our niggas. I gotta ask you something though. And welcome to the show, Sonny. I think he's made it back in now. So welcome to the show. Okay. Y'all, first off, all y'all niggas out there trying to read my tabs, stop reading them. If it's porn up there, I didn't know.
Whatever, 52 tabs open.
Listen, it's 61, but who's counting? The point is, Tariq Nasheed is stoking the flames of racism, which of course he does. He put up a picture, as you guys can see, the two white boys, the twins, with their real, look like AR-15s. Also, he said a suspected white Jesus Christ.
He didn't say that.
Y'all can't see it.
That is the most, I can see it. I can see it.
Hold up.
That is the most brilliant piece of bullshit propaganda that he ever came up with. That is so hilarious. Suspected white supremacist. You know why I suspect you? Because you white.
Right.
That's the only piece of evidence he got.
And no, listen what he said though about Carmelo, honor roll, like an honor student. So Matt, let's flip it around and say, honor student and suspected YN,
Okay. So Tony, since you can see it,
I can see it.
Go ahead and read it for us.
A suspected white supremacist named Austin McCat, pictured with his twin, allegedly demanded honor student Carmelo Anthony give up his seat. This is like Rosa Parks shit right here. Like it was the Jim Crow era. Carmelo defended himself from the alleged threat. The Daniel Perry case set this precedent.
Yeah, he's talking about Daniel Penny, what happened up in New York?
In New York, yeah. On the train. Only thing he did, the only thing he left out was meet me in Selma at the bridge.
This is 2020.
First of all, this is Texas. Two young white boys with AR-15s and camo on is just as innocuous as them wearing Boy Scout uniforms. That shit don't mean a goddamn fucking thing.
And look, he's gonna be able to prove this. I mean, this means nothing because the father just said they just this weekend came from hunting. Yeah, they just got through hunting, and he said he didn't realize that it was gonna be the last weekend with his son, and they had such an amazing time hunting because his son finally wanted to kill a hog, wanted to go hunting for a hog, and they got one. And so it's like he's a suspected white supremacist.
Suspected, bruh, suspected. And the fact that he can keep getting away with saying this
Yes.
shit, but I got to get you guys' thoughts on a couple of things. You brought up his father, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play what his father actually said.
Fortunate that this other child decided to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life. I have compassion for every human being. This is not, I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know, they weren't there.
So the father went out of his way, ladies and gentlemen, he went out of his way to say, I forgive him, number one, he does on the day it happened. And he's saying he does not want anybody to be out there saying that it was racism and whatnot. Now, that being said, they spoke to his wife and the other twin and asked him about that on Fox News. Will Kane, take a look.
And say within hours of this that he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And I honestly don't know that I could. And I just want to see, and I don't know if there's a right or a wrong place to be, especially as quickly as this has happened. Megan, how do you feel on that front today?
I am not like their dad. I am so angry at that boy. It's just not fair. That's all I have.
Go on and say it.
I'd like to say it's forgave, not forgotten, but I'm not at that point yet to forgive that kid for what he did to my brother. Because, 17 years, my best friend, just there in the blink of an eye, I lost him. So I'm not at that point.
All right.
She needs to say it. She needs to be allowed to say it. That's what she wanted.
No.
I'm not going to
Brian. Well, Brian, let me give you the setup. Dad said he's a Christian.
If you have your
way, he forgives him. If y'all got something going on in the back, please just mute yourself. You got anything going on? All right.
Welcome. If you have.
Goddamn.
Okay, here we go. So, Dad, Christian, says what he's supposed to say. I forgive him. Mom, brother are told. I heard your dad say he's gonna forgive him. What say you?
I say she should get a 72-hour pass to it. She can say, "Go forgive that nigga for killing my boy."
Hold on, and they'll be in the background. So don't say it. Don't answer that question, Carl Lee. Don't answer it. Yeah,
they deserve to die. I hope they burn in hell.
They burn in hell. You should. Anytime that you have had, there's been a death or life taken or great bodily harm caused by a nigga, because that's what we would say. You should be allowed to say it. I'm gonna forgive that nigga for killing my boy.
It should be written in the Constitution that you can call some niggas if they cause great bodily harm or murder to you or your family.
Yes, that's exactly you should be. You should get 72 hours free reign to just say it. But I mean, I want us to be able to get to a point where we live in a world to where we can truly have that natural feeling and being able to express the disdain and because if that was my son, I'd be like, man, y'all better catch him before I do. Yep. Let him out if you want to. I'm gonna give him some justice if y'all let this boy walk. And I get the fact that the father was trying to, play to the or plead to the legal system to give justice. But bro, you 2 days in, you 24 hours in of your son being senselessly murdered, man, you should be allowed to have some angst, some animus, some animosity towards anybody that caused it. Black,
especially
white, purple,
reading
yellow.
the shit. Especially reading, and I hate to cut you off. And I hate when people say they hate to do it while doing it.
But you do it.
I love to cut you off.
Right.
Be honest.
Like,
but man, I gotta read Tariq Nasheed shit. I gotta see these protests.
exactly.
No, y'all niggas. I'm telling you that's why they don't want to put no mic in front of me. And I put the mic in front of my own face and ruin a lot of shit on my own because I just start talking to the shit. I don't know how my child is dead, man. He talked about how he had to read, he had to kiss his son on the forehead. He said he was cold. I know. I remember touching the cold body, and that shit is horrible. They feel like wood. That's not who you know. They gone, and you'll never see him again unless he's a Christian. He believe one day he'll see him, but your son might be in hell. You don't want to see him the way. No, you don't want to see him.
You might go to hell. I'm gonna get to see my son.
Charlie, remember what is the same thing they did with the Amber Geiger thing? Or someone came out and said, "I forgive her" or something, gave her a hug.
The judge was hugging.
Mammy Two Shoes.
That was the judge, yeah.
They was playing in her hair like she's a fucking doll.
So I guess we technically do have a situation where we forgave them. So he forgave. Could you?
There was another situation in Jackson, Mississippi, where these white kids ran over that gay black dude, and the mama was a Christian and shit. I forgive him. Don't kill him. Just put him in jail.
I mean, if your son was a gay dude, I mean, I'm playing. These are jokes. I don't mean any of these things. If you're gay and you listen to the show, it's fucking.
You on a roll, bro.
But you mean she was like good riddance? Stop me, like goddamn, that faggot was bringing a stain on the family.
I don't understand why people don't get it. I'm just making it's a joke. It's a joke that they were arrested. It's a joke that they were arrested. They should have been freed and given a medal. No, I just want to say that as bad as it is what happened, I don't know how as a father, I'll throw it to you, Tony. I don't know how as a father I could deal with that. And you are father a couple of times over. And you haven't had yours 17 years. You know how kind of bond you build with your kids when they grow, especially I believe having some boys, watch them grow up to be men and good young men who are about to.
Yes.
That's the part I think would hurt me. My boy's about to go off and fuck bitches and
big things. Yep.
And this it?
Yeah, nah, definitely. And you know what would be pissing me off and eating me away is the fact that, you know, I would know that the person that killed my son, their family would be begging for him to, you know, please, he's a good boy. He made a mistake, you know, forgive him, and you know, please don't charge him with first-degree murder. Let him come out like that. They don't. The other is two families ruined, but I feel like I should be the one that should be only be like, you know, looked at and taken care of for. I feel like people like if my son went off and did some shit like that to someone else, like I would still love my son, but I do hold a responsibility at the end of the day. I feel like a lot of people nowadays wouldn't do that, you know. Like,
but that's like though, because like I still love them.
Yeah,
I don't want to see y'all put him in the electric chair. I don't want to see you put him in the gas chamber. And I also don't want to go see him there for the next 30, 40, 50 years. I want you to have some leniency on him. And if I see something, and I think I get that's what you're saying. You're saying the other parents are going to be trying to find any way out for their kid as they can. And then as that father, you're going to have to hear this. You're going to have to hear them explain how great of a kid he was, how this was an accident, how you need to be lenient on him but nobody's lenient on your child. Your child on that slab, in that box, in that dirt. Everything got worse.
And even if, you know, if he gets 20 years and he lives those 20 years and he comes out free, it's like all that, and he's still living a life.
He's gonna be 37. Like, he can still have a family.
Yeah.
He can still have his own. He can still have kids.
I'm not getting mine back. I can't get mine back. You know, I can't get it's like a permanent loss, and I feel like an eye for an eye in this situation. I'm not saying electric chair, but I am saying like no parole type shit. Like I need that. You know, I don't. That's how I would feel. So, I couldn't forgive. I can forget. I'm a Christian man, but I don't know if I can forgive. You know, motherfucker doing that. I don't know. I don't know.
That's
he got. I would say
God can forgive him, man. God can
because he's 17.
Yes,
God get that quarter. Yeah, he got to get that quarter because man, yeah, you took my son, dude. And then like you were saying earlier, Tommy, having a son, that shit hit different, bro.
I was about to say that's what I'm saying. My son. Let me ask you this, and then I'm gonna go to Chris. Let me ask you, Brian. What would be a number, if not death, that you would feel comfortable with? Remember, he's 17. That you'd feel comfortable with the 17-year-old getting.
I would say because he's 17, a minimum of 20. You have to you got to pay what you owe, bro. And it's not necessarily, in my opinion, saying a life for a life because he is 17 and he's not a hardened criminal. And I don't think, it would do anybody any good for him to just go away for the next 75 years and do life in jail for something that he did at 17. But I definitely think he needs to get that dub and sit down for a minute before he even has what do they call it when you go before the review board? Parole review, yeah. Where he can get before that parole board. You got to pay what you owe, bro. You took a life in a situation where you weren't even close to your life being in danger or in jeopardy.
Well, here's what I would say, and I'm going to throw it to you, Chris. I need you to do as many years as it takes for me to die. They can bring you up for parole when I'm dead. But if I'm alive, I'm going to need you to stay in that thing, because if they let your ass out, I'm coming to get you. Go ahead, Chris.
That's a good one.
Good point. So I was going to say 20 minimum, 25 maybe, but what you just said right there is like, yeah, because think about it, you're going to see this guy walk ground again after he just killed your son. Like, it's going to mess with his head, he's going to end up,
because they got to let him know when they let him out. Yep.
So, yeah, minimum 20, but like he better make sure he's reading some books in there while he's doing his time. I don't know, maybe turn Muslim or something, do a Michael X.
What if they allowed him to do like they did Ice-T? What if they allowed him to do like Ice-T and Surviving the Game?
The
woods ain't gonna hunt him down.
Yeah, like if he get away, he can live.
You make it.
You make it. Hey, nigga, they say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So we gonna if you can make it out here in these fields of Texas. And if
you use knives.
What if they do what you did though, Tommy? What if they give him the sentence where he gotta stay in jail until the father died, but then the father gets put into a coma and is on life support. He just gets to stay on life support.
Yeah, that's up to the family. Well,
that's up to the family to take him off.
I'm not gonna have a DNR.
Yep, no DNR.
I'm gonna have a do resuscitate. I'm gonna have a DNR.
Yo, Tommy, Ryan, there's this thing that I read in about basically a guy that had a baby and the killer killed him, and they put the killer on the child support or some shit like that. In the father's life.
Wow.
It was something like that.
That's actually fair. You took away that guy, the earning of that guy. That's actually fair.
I mean, maybe something like that. Yeah, especially if this kid's about to be like a pro athlete. Who knows? Like maybe that too. Like you got to throw a bag. Like
kid was definitely getting a scholarship. Was going to get a scholarship.
Well, here's what I think. I'm gonna go. I want to go. I would go to Patrick, but here's what I do appreciate that Brian was able to do that I don't know if I can. You were able to show some compassion in your thinking right then. You still said, just do 20 years, because then you said because taking away his life will do no one any good.
Yep.
I would love to be able to think that I could think that way, and I think because I don't like to see people hurt, I would eventually get to that place. So I'm talking bad in front of y'all, in front of the mic. Y'all have heard me for years say all kind of shit I wouldn't do. I never put up with that shit, and then I did. So I appreciate you saying that, because the eye for an eye thing is the first thing I'm thinking. And then I'm thinking, boy, these are my boys, and you took, and they twins, so you took. Because think about how long the other one gonna last without his friend.
Yeah, oddly enough, he's gonna feel it the most because you have that twin bond, and every fucking birthday, every major life event, everything that they used to do, he's gonna have that longing for his brother for the rest of his life. So he's gonna mourn his brother more than anybody else will, just because of the bond that they have being twins. And he was his older brother.
Every day, what y'all don't understand is when you have a loved one that dies, my grandmother or people like that, you eventually, I mean, you have like a vision of them in your head, but it's not a constant thing. It kind of fades a bit. He has a picture of his brother every time he walked past a mirror.
Yep.
He hears his brother's voice every time he hears.
Yep. And his brother, and also too, we can't forget this. His brother died in his arms, bro. He died in his arms, holding your brother while he's just been stabbed. I don't know if the knife was left in or not, but while he's bleeding out.
That ain't fading away. That ain't never fading
away. Yeah, he'll never be able to let that go.
That image is never fading away right there, boy.
Would you say his brother's on a potential suicide watch because of all the mental he's going through and what you guys are mentioning? Is like, dude, he's gonna have to.
Yeah, his dad said, his brother said, I can't go on, Daddy. He said he told him to say, no, you got to for your brother. Yeah, he said that. He said his son said, I can't do this, Dad, without him.
Wow.
Because he was the alpha out of the two or whatever. He was the leader out of the two. He was the team captain and was the inside linebacker while his brother played outside linebacker. Imagine that. Imagine that. You lining up with your brother.
Chris, I need you to do me a favor and read this and tell Ian to go to hell.
Hell no.
Come on, man. What the hell?
I got the whole room to myself. God damn.
I've known about I've known about 6 or 7 pairs of identical twins, and that identical twin bond is real. That shit is not just something they talk about like in the mystical sense. That shit
all
is
the twins I know
real.
got it. Yep, I got twin nephews. Yep.
Genetically speaking, they are the same person. Like before that shit split in the womb, genetically speaking, they are the exact same person. And the only thing that gives them a difference is, okay, well, the whole lives growing up, he was on the right, I was on the left. My mom named him this, my mom named me that, and they started to have different experiences. But genetically speaking, at a base sense, they are the exact same person. And that shit does not go away. That boy ain't never gonna be right again.
Yeah, and Ian, you ain't shit. But in Frisco, them niggas got houses big enough to where them twins probably had their own room, bro. you dirty motherfucker, you.
And I know, Patrick, what would you want to see? What would you want to see?
What would I want to see if that was my son or my brother? I would want to. It's Carl Lee Haley all day. I mean, that's just the type of person I would want to kill that motherfucker. And even if I would like to think that I am an enlightened enough or gracious enough person to eventually one day come to the point where I could forgive him, I definitely couldn't do what that daddy didn't forgive him in the fucking first 24 hours. That shit is crazy to me.
I ain't got that much Jesus in me, nigga.
Right.
What the fuck you think this is? The first 48? This ain't A&E. I can't do it in 48. What I look like just saying it? Because now I want to throw it to a lot of you niggas who keep making all that motherfucking noise while you do come on the damn show now. Quit that mic. I'll just sit down. Walk right in. Sit your black ass down.
Hey, Tommy, but hey, I appreciate the space. Thank you for having me on board. Tommy, I'm hit that cash app on my way out. I appreciate Thank you guys for doing what you do. We
all right, bro.
Conversations.
Yeah, I'm gonna pill out too, Tommy. I'm be in the chat, all right?
All right, cool. Thank you.
And I'll hit you up, Tommy, tomorrow. All right, Tommy, we're gonna figure that out.
Let's make it happen. My man Chris and Tony, thank you guys for coming to join us on the stage.
No problem.
Have a little fun here on a Friday night. We are talking about, and reset the table here, myself and Brian, we are talking about the case that has taken over the nation, the case of 2 17-year-old young men in Texas high school at a track meet where a 30-second interaction ended up with one in jail, possibly facing life, and the other dead. after being stabbed over what seems to be the most senseless thing ever, standing under a damn tent. Is it called a tent, an awning? I'm not even sure
it's
what
a tent. That little picture they got, that's a tent. But
jeez, standing under this and they're dead. I want to go to Dion for a second, then I'm gonna go to Sonny. Dion, do me a favor. What do you think this says about society that we're even having this type of discussion about children, and yet the adults who you'd assume were the adults in the room, look at how the discussion they're having, right? When you got Tariq Nasheed calling these young boys suspected white supremacists. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is, I think it's a reflection of the society we live in, man. You got politicians that are begging for violence, and I'm be honest, from the left side. Jasmine Crockett, she's talking about punching Ted Cruz in the head. You got Maxine that was saying, get in their face, let them know they don't feel welcome. And people might think that that's not a big deal. But when I'm 50, when we was growing up, politicians and adults never went public and encouraged people to be violent. Because when you're telling someone to get in someone's face, you're basically co-signing. We all know what that really is. That's saying, go start some shit. And what I think needs to happen is, I'm not trying to be funny, Tommy, I know, Tommy, you're not joking when you say this, but Trump needs to sign an executive order declaring that Black Americans, FBAs, are mentally insane until proven otherwise, and they need to get a fucking waiver or something, because niggas is out of control. That's what the truth is. Negroes are out of control, and a small piece of me wishes, even though I'm black, that we need to see a motherfucking Rosewood Part 2, where white people, because think about this. If white people just decided that they had enough of our shit and they just came after Negroes to get revenge for stupid shit, what the fuck will we do? Because them white liberals ain't gonna help us. They say they will, but you ain't gonna see nobody with Antifa out there trying to protect no Negroes if a race war breaks out. And you got people like Tariq Nasheed, and you got politicians like Jasmine Crockett and them begging for a race war, in my opinion. And I think they should get what they want. They should get what they want, because all you need is about one day of letting white people get the clap back. And I think all this shit will be over with. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I want to tell you this. I remember the day I got the clap back and I started wearing protection. The thing is,
tell me you ain't shit.
Got that clap back.
God damn, Tommy.
Just saying. I'm just saying. But I'm a big believer in, I don't think niggas gonna learn until somebody open the gate.
That's what I believe. That's all I'm saying. I don't want that to happen, but I do believe until white people actually do something back to you, just to let you know. And I don't want it to be all black folks, because there's a lot of good black people out there, but there got to be some way of figuring out how we can get back at people, because right now our world, the United States, is in a bad situation because everything's viewed through this lens of racism and color. And the truth be told, black people don't have the numbers, the manpower, they don't have the ammunition or the fucking training. Everything we want to do is simply violent. And one thing you said the other day on your show, the white kids should have actually thought, when they saw this nigga in the tent, like you say about niggly bears, they should have, white parents should tell their kids, hey man, you got to assume, I'm not telling you to be racist, but we are at the point that you should just assume that if it's a nigga around you that you don't know, this ain't your friend you go to school with, you should just assume the worst. Because I do that now. I work in, I'm a retired police officer. I work still in Chicago. I assume all niggas are dangerous until proven otherwise, because there's nothing wrong with being safe. There's nothing wrong with it.
Griffin, you were right. The brother said that I just want to make sure he said he don't respect nobody that got their cash up going across the screen. I appreciate you, and I don't respect them either. So what I would probably do is go watch somebody that didn't have it going across the screen, because A, you don't respect me, and B, you're not going to hit it. And so that being said, that means you don't respect anything coming out of anybody's mouth that's up here. So please do me a favor, sir. He said, bro, posted my comment and is so happy about it. Yes, I posted your comment because, like you said, we're supposed to identify threats. And I know a motherfucking person who probably wears a bomb on his chest anytime I see one. Anytime I look at a nigga that look like he's a Palestinian, I kind of get afraid. I just know that you probably will do something, sir. So please, just, if you don't mind, walk out of my church, go to somebody else's mosque. If you don't mind, walk on somebody else's plane. This is not United. It is not. This is not American Airlines. Please do me a favor and leave there, DN Preno. All right, then. Go ahead. Let's go back. I just want to make sure we understand. I know a potential IED when I see one.
Say no mas and no Hamas.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That was a good one. Shit.
Like that, yeah. I'm just saying. I just want you to know this person said racist jokes petty. Yes, y'all come to watch me make racist jokes. I make racist jokes earlier about blacks. You didn't say that was petty. I make racist jokes about all of you.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Sonny, because you got a lot of stuff going on in the back. That's why I had to mute you. Now go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you could hear me because I was trying to ask Brian a question and get off real quick, and I was trying to cut in.
Now we couldn't hear you, but we could hear all that shit you was moving.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was the other dude.
Oh, as soon as I muted you, it went away.
Right.
No, I was just sitting in my car because
he argue with the sound, sir.
This motherfucker
do you hear anything right now?
I thought it might have been my man Dion. I read what Brian wrote in the back. He was like, "Hey, it's sunny." I said, "Well, let's check."
No, mine was the wind.
As soon as I clicked on yours, it went quiet in the bitch. We can hear everything Dion was saying.
But I was sitting in my car. It's quiet. I'm still sitting in my car.
You was fixing your car.
Well, you must have been counting the change in your car. Something.
No, that wasn't me.
But go ahead.
I heard that same noise. But what I want to ask Brian, earlier when y'all was talking about the state of Texas, did y'all mention a couple mental states or anything like that? Because I missed that part.
No, but I did say that I believe, I'm not sure about this, but I believe that there is something that they have a new law they got established a few years back to where they have to like go through a process before you can just charge a minor or
he's not a minor. He's an adult. He's 17.
Yeah, he's 7. Yeah, but I think you have to
before you can send him up.
Yeah, before you can send him up as an adult. I believe there's a process here in Texas that they have to go through in order to get that particular type of charge.
It is, and it's just to meet the standard, so they don't have to deal with it. So long as they have a standard where everybody says, because what was happening before is people started believing that they were applying the standards differently to black people than white people. So like Patrick was saying, they take a 14-year-old black person, and that motherfucker did something to a white person. He getting charged as an adult. They got 17, 18 sometimes white boys, and they still were charging them as minors, saying, well, you don't want to throw, they would say what Brian would say, you don't want to throw away their whole life. But they had no problem throwing away black people's whole lives. So that's when they go to let's have a standard. Sometimes it involves having a psychiatrist come and talk to the kid because we don't know how he was raised, what type of family. So they started to these things because I think
it's basically a cover your ass type thing. So that they have one less thing to challenge on for appeal.
And I think
I'm just talking about the state of Texas because
I think in Texas they can't give them life. I think if you're like 17 or something, you can't get life. You can't be gone for the next 75 years if you like 17. So, I think it's something like that to that effect.
Well, what I was saying was I just got on in the police department in Texas. I wasn't involved in this case, but I know every time because we arrested a teenager as an adult when she just turned 17, and she was arrested for a terrorist threat against her mom, and they charged as an adult. Before that, they just kept charging as a juvenile, and they just rotating doors, go out.
Yeah, and I think too with that, because of the crime that they may have committed, they know that they're going to turn as an adult. I think that there's just like, as far as the sentencing and stuff like that goes, I think they have certain things in place now to where you do a crime like Tommy was talking about, that dude that's 14 years old, he do something like your ass just gone for the next 75 years. You can't do that with a kid anymore, or a minor, or somebody that's under the age of 17.
Okay.
And they'll do that. And then they'll just
and hold on a second, Sonny. I do want you to pay attention to what you said. You said the people were just rotating them in and out. Well, that is a factor as well. This boy has no history, but you can have 17 or 16 and they got a history of doing shit. Oh, I'm about to put this motherfucker away. He's an adult now because he know better and whatever. And he's been in this juvenile system. Now he's just playing us. So they'll do that too to somebody. So their history, I think, is another one of the parts of the, as Patrick was saying, the CYA. That's just another part of it. This person's history is now going to be applied to their next crime.
Yep. And actually, as you just mentioned that, I think Charleston White had something to do with that shit here, because he was locked up here in Fort Worth as a minor. And I think that once he got out, he worked on some legislation to get that shit in motion that we're talking about. If I'm not mistaken, like I said, I could be, but I think I heard that before.
Yeah, he said it while I was interviewing him. He sure did.
Oh, see? Okay, there we go.
I didn't know anything about it. They say that he's like, hey, and to me, that's another thing of when you got all these people talking about, well, an activist. That's an activist. I went through this. I don't want to see anybody else go through this.
Yep.
Thing about I lost my kid to a drunk driver. I don't want anybody else to, so I'll start mad. I lost my kid to a kidnapping. I don't want anybody else to, so I start an Amber Alert. We as Black people don't seem like we do much of that when we have traumatic things that happen to us. But in this situation, I'm going to ask you, and let me say, I'll ask you, Sonny, then, what do you think as far as, I don't know what if you got any kids or not?
No, I don't.
Could you be, well, if you have a sibling or a family member, could you be as forgiving as the white man? And do you see that maybe the white kid caused his own demise?
I would say no. I can't be forgiven as the white dude is, because, like I mentioned earlier about because I remember back in a couple years ago, it seemed like the roles are reversed now. It was always the Black family come out, I forgive the person. That always pissed me off. So I'm like, I don't want to be a hypocrite and say, now that the white person saying it, that I can't. He's right. I'm like, nah, F that. I can't forget this.
I used to get pissed at the Black parents and the Black family talking about Jesus told us we forgive them. I'm like, nigga, tore the face off your child, literally.
Right.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people. Well, I haven't turned against Christian, but a lot of Black people started turning against Christianity because of that. Like,
yeah. And I think we have this inherent thing in our culture that we don't want to admit. And I said this to people a lot as far as just when it comes to your personal protection and safety. The world is not a nice place, and it's not a safe place. And we have a tremendous amount of protection here in the United States, to where people have forgotten that. And that's like one of the things I talk about when we talk about Pro 2A and people trying to take guns and gun controls. Hey, man, you have to always be in a position to where you are ready and prepared to defend your life. You never know what type of interaction you can have or could potentially have with somebody to where your life may come into jeopardy, or your loved ones life may come into jeopardy. The world ain't nice and cool and everybody's peaceful. We don't live in that type of world. And I think that society and media try to portray that. A lot of rich folks who live in their ivory towers want to portray that and give us that false sense of security. Man, any given moment, somebody could come and kick in the door to my house because they just said, fuck it. And I live in an affluent suburb in Texas. I'm still ready for his ass. Because the minute I hear that door, I'm going to grab this Mossberg and I'm going to work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree wholeheartedly.
Tommy, let me get out of here, because I've been sitting in this parking lot for a long time.
Oh, you looking for a lot lizard?
No, I'm gonna go in the grocery store.
Oh, I thought you said you cruising the parking lot. I know what that is.
No, hey, the grocery store in the parking lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know what that is, yo.
You gotta explain that one to me though.
So, I appreciate you coming through, bro. These conversations are really fun to have, but I want to say this: they're sad to have. We shouldn't be having these discussions about these things. And I tell you what, and Brian said it, and y'all should see. I mean, you never know what can happen. Anything can happen.
There you go.
Hell no.
Am I right or am I right?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Me? I ain't doing that.
You gotta keep your head and your dick on the
Guys, I just want to ask like 2 questions and then I'm out. Regarding this situation and regarding like Tariq Nasheed and what he says and the control he has over black people, does he really feel, or is he that delusional to think that black people have that much power in this country that if a race war started, that we'd actually win?
Bro, if a race war started, that's gonna be the last nigga you see join the fight. He's gonna be up. He's one of those black folks that's in their ivory tower.
They over there, master. They over there. They hiding in that bunker.
But what he's doing now, that's all a part of his shtick, is to keep. You got to realize, man, that's how this dude eats. He has to play that role. He's just like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson before, he got too old to do the shit. He has to play that role. Just like all of the other people that's in politics, all of them black Democrats that's doing that shit. This is how they eat. It ain't that's how I got elected. This how I eat. I gotta keep playing this card. That's why you got Cornel West still talking the same shit he been talking. They have to do this because this is how they eat. They will never stop or never admit it or never change.
You will never see a case like this.
It's a hustle,
and
but
he won't try to.
The result is all of us.
One at a time. Hold on. You can go. Patrick gonna say something to you, and then you can go.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just piggybacking off what Brian said. You will never see something like this happen, and he not you'll never be wrong when you guess what his opinion is going to be about the situation, and you always know when he's going to come out whenever these stories come out, because you can't miss that check. This is like, okay, well, it's 2 weeks from Friday. Last Friday I got paid. I gotta get paid again. So why the fuck would I not say something? This you absolutely right about that, Brian. But go ahead.
Go ahead, brother. But I gotta say to you, and I know what you're saying. You're saying, like, why does he think that riling these people up to get them to run? It's like riling the cow up to just run in there to get slaughtered. He's doing that to black people, and you're asking, does he really think that? As they said, he knows they're gonna lose, but I think he also knows blacks have a coward's heart. He knows that they're just gonna sit and listen to him say it and then pay him to say it. I don't think he leaves. I think if the shit ever popped off, like Patrick said, he'd be the first one to join the white people and say, I didn't know them niggas was going to do that. I don't think he would expect that to ever happen. And shouts out to my man Napoleon, who got me a shot. Anybody else want to help me get drunk on this Friday night? Y'all know what to do. Hit the Cash App, hit the Rumble, hit the GoFundMe. Show some love as much as you can. But what do you think about that? Like, it's a show, man. It's just... He doesn't believe white people will do anything, so he knows he's just talking to a bunch of people that ain't gonna fight.
Well, that's a definition of being a grifter, because he doesn't really believe that shit that he's saying. He knows he's really. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. He plays that fiddle very well. He knows exactly which words he says is gonna cause what people to do what things and maximize his potential to make money off of it. That's all he does.
Yes, young man. Go ahead, young man. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, my shit keep on fucking up, keep going in and out. No, I think that makes sense.
Stop hanging around Puffy.
Yeah,
you gotta know this shit.
Go ahead.
No, it makes sense because he knows a lot of blacks are not gonna do nothing.
He said it makes sense. Go ahead though.
I ain't gonna take that, but that makes sense though.
Yeah.
If blacks are not gonna do nothing, he could always have a voice to say some shit. Like he's the toughest guy. Like how
Yeah.
it happened in that movie American History X. That white dude, the head grandmaster, he ain't do nothing, but all he did was talk.
Yeah, you remember the white dude? That's why he was so bothered. When he was in jail, he was like, so wait a minute. Y'all don't mean the shit you say? It's a grift. Like my man said, that's when he realized it's all a grift.
Mm-hmm. And my second question, off related to this topic, but it kind of relates. I heard different stories of what happened in Black Wall Street and how it got demolished back in the day.
Oh, snap.
I read
was
something
cool.
where they said it was over a black man from the community looking at a white woman or raping a white woman, and that's when the whites came over, and those guys protected that black man, and they said they were gonna, fight, and they ended up losing their whole civilization. Did you hear that story, or is that accurate?
Yeah, it's a couple versions I've heard, and that was one of them that they said that I think he was a doctor, and that he had been accused. I don't know if they knew he was actually doing it, but the lady had accused him of it, and the black folks were saying, well, we take the side of the black man. He said he didn't do it. We're not going to let you just come in here, because what they wanted to do was come and just remove him, and you know what happened when white men remove you from where you was back then. If they remove you, you wouldn't come.
Oh yeah, they were going to take him out, but my whole thing is like, to play devil's advocate, what if the guy really did do it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that it's
and they protected somebody just because he's black, even though he was. Because we right now we protect killers and rapists, and we celebrate them in certain ways. You know what I mean? So it's like.
Well, I want to. There was actually when they actually came to Black Wall Street to burn it down. There was a guy that he came up to try to stop them from doing it, and he pretty much got overran. But he was just in the middle of the street, just pretty much saying, Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street. Yeah. And they just killed him and just kept on through it. Just ran crazy. And they asses ain't built the shit back yet either, have they?
Yeah, building off somebody else's laurels. You know what I mean?
I like you,
man. It's just like, yo, we so slow-minded and insecure that it's never gonna be fixed. And if it was a race war, we lose that shit.
Let me ask you something, young man. How old are you?
Trouble.
How old are you, young man? I don't know his name. How old are you, buddy?
All right, Charlie. My shit keep fucking up. Good night.
How old are you?
Thank you for the answers.
You can't hear shit.
No problem. He got GA Arcade, so that's why I figured he was a young man. He got he got the picture of this little young aviator. I figured he's a young cat, and but the fact that he came saying, "I want to know what you guys think," he didn't even put his thoughts on the table. He's just saying, "Well, don't y'all think?" And I want to pass it to you guys. Don't y'all think that is like crazy that you have Tyreek and shit? Like the grifters can't take a day off, can they? Like they have to see something and say, well, I got to turn that into something. Because for him to turn that and say that man's a white supremacist, if he had a brand worth of fuck, wouldn't that have destroyed it?
Tommy, it's absolutely ridiculous for him to think that just because people take pictures with guns that they white supremacists, man. That don't make no sense, man. That's crazy as hell.
But I keep wondering. Again, I asked the same thing about Jasmine Crockett. I asked the same thing about the lady up in your old neck of the woods. So you got two crazy bitches. You got one in your state, and you got your ex-state. The chick from Dothan. You had a Dalton. There's Dalton or not Dothan? Okay,
it's Dalton. Yeah.
Okay. So you got that. You had y'all had some crazy mayor bitches.
Yep.
Y'all had some super king mayor bitches.
Hell no.
But it's the fact that you see that they play the game and they never change. How are they able to get away with it? How is Jasmine able to get away with talking about them white boys? How is Eric Adams able to get away with it? I keep my foot on them crackers.
It's easy. I make them.
Why, Tommy?
Well, hold on. I'm gonna let Brian go and then I'll go to you. I was throwing it to Brian, then I'll go to you.
It's a simple thing. Black folks just want to be made to feel good. If you make me feel good, I'll believe anything you tell me, and I will follow you blindly. I will not question you. I won't change it because you make me feel good.
But why is feel good talking shit about whites?
Because it gives you someone to blame. It's just like how niggas talk about, man, these racist motherfuckers, man, they just do. Just like niggas have been saying since Donald Trump has been in office, man, all he's doing is enslaving the black folks, making it bad for us by making all the rich folks richer. Okay, then when you say how, man, you know what it is, man. You know how they do that shit, man. You know. They don't give a damn about no facts, no information. They literally just want to say, hey, if I can tell you, hey, man, you doing it right. Yeah, man, I understand why you feel this way. It's all them white people's fault. This is supremacy. It's this white racist stuff that's been going on since the days of Selma. It's the same thing happening then that's happening now. It takes all of the responsibility. It takes away all the accountability on myself. And I can say, yeah, man, it takes all of us. That's why you have that shit like we had that shit with George Floyd. It's like you had all of these people sitting there talking about, say her name, say their names. And it's like, to what end? Meanwhile, we giving all this money to who? Another grifter. Patrice Kahn and Cullors grifted us all and had the entire country giving her money. And then when it turned out that the bitch was just running a real estate scam, what did we do? We didn't do shit. We said, oh, okay, who's next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's just what we do. Because she made us feel good.
Rich that ain't gonna do shit for us. With that Jasmine, you know what they called the show last night? I didn't think that shit was real. They said no. She said that she walked up to the man and he said, "Give me a job." And he said, "Why should I give you a job?" She said, "Because I'm black." She did say this.
Yes.
I was in the video, but she literally did.
Whenever you can find an excuse to prove to the world that my failures are not my fault, you're gonna take that route. If you just got low expectations and somebody can say, hey, it ain't your fault, it's these people's fault. Yeah, it is them people's fault. It ain't my fault. I'm wonderful. Why? How could it be my fault?
I mean, black folks still don't want to build shit for themselves.
Nope.
So we will still sit and say, well, we ain't got this because they ain't letting us in. Okay, well, why don't you build your own? No black folks in this company. Start your own. Because niggas won't even support niggas.
Because niggas they want to start a business on Monday and be Walmart or Amazon on Wednesday. They don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, the motherfucker that started Home Depot started out with a fucking 600 square foot hardware store. And
Amazon guy was in the garage.
Yeah, he was in the garage. He had a desk. He had a desk covered with books and a bunch of fucking FedEx envelopes. That's how he started that shit.
Hey, Brian, you know what we need to do? We need to market this. We're going to make us a thing called a sit and say. And we're going to pull the string. What about Black Wall Street?
Remember the soundboy?
It's what niggas do. They just sit and say. And we're going to say everything that niggas just sit and say.
Remember the soundboy, that little thing you would press the button and it had all the had the machine gun sounds, and every little button you press say another one of them dumbass slogans.
So, you know, because when we was young, me and Brian. Oh,
nigga says.
Was this thing called
what about Black Wall Street?
Yes, and you were
the cow says.
Yeah, yes.
But that's
black say things that niggas sit and say, and every time you pull it, all these say shit that the niggas just sit and say.
The black woman says,
"Where's my check?"
Because I'm a black woman. The black woman says, "Oh, I just wanted to switch it up." The black woman says,
"Why would you wear weed too?"
Yeah.
The black woman stairs.
Literally.
The white women do it too.
To prepare all kids from every race just to sit, just pull it. This is what niggas gonna sit and say. This is what's gonna happen. Dion, you wanted to jump in? Go ahead.
You talking to me, Tommy?
You the only Dion, nigga.
I didn't. It cut out. I didn't hear you say it. So check it out.
Go ahead.
Well, check it out. I was going to talk about what Brian was when you asked the question, why does Tariq Nasheed and these politicians keep doing this type of shit and saying this, being real reckless? The one thing they're doing, and I know this from being in law enforcement, they believe that white people truly are better and bigger and have better morals and won't whoop your ass. And we believe it so strongly that we will risk our lives. We will tell the public, we will tell our people, go out there and do this and do this. Like, why? They won't do nothing. Because I heard that shit every time I did something to somebody. When I got to whooping their ass with that mag light, Brian, you know what I'm talking about. You get to whooping that motherfucking ass with that mag light, and they'll say, but you're the police. You're not supposed to do it. I said, motherfucker, you bit me. You kicked me in my nuts. And I didn't believe it, Brian. But I'm dealing with niggas in Cook County, Chicago. I did not believe it until I heard it for the next 15 years. It probably took me maybe like 6 years. After about 6 years, it dawned on me. I said, black people truly believe that white people are so benevolent that they won't whoop their ass. You know, so we went from the 60s where you was getting hosed down and getting the German Shepherd sicked on biting you in your ass, to now white people can't whoop your ass because they're supposed to feel sorry for you and say, go ahead and let the little niggly bear bite you and nibble on you. Don't do nothing back. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm telling you the truth. The secret kryptonite that these politicians and Tariq Nasheed and them are selling is they're telling people to do this type of shit and to act a certain way because they're gambling on two things. The white man is too benevolent to whoop your ass. And the white liberal will get out there with you and protect you. But as soon as that ass whooping comes, it's going to be over with.
Yeah. And then there's a society piece to it as well, to where they, just as much as, you know, the grifters and Tariq Nasheeds and Al Sharptons benefit from this, then you have the massive corporations that benefit from this too.
Yep.
You know, the fact that they have, you know, like the prison, the prison pipeline, whatever the fuck they call it.
Yeah, you don't want to be piping
prison
nobody.
School pipeline.
You don't mention prison and pipes at the same time.
Yeah, but the fact
Prison
that they
school
have that
pipeline.
shit up like that, right? It's like we are playing right into that. We don't want to change from that, and they want us to stay in that vein. They want to keep these women raising these children because then you have a society and a group of people that will not think for themselves and will go along with whatever you tell them to go along with.
Yep.
And they just keep the cycle going because there's a huge benefit to it. It just is. You got a group of, you have an entire race of people that are literally just not informed, and they just insist on being told what to do. It's the slave race to a degree to where that's how they want to function. And it's like we're continuously breeding slaves.
Yep.
Hey, Tommy, remember that?
Well, hold on a second. I'm gonna let you respond, but I gotta answer this. A person back here in the private chat said something. Libra of the ninth day. So my Twitter comment was emotionally blocked. I don't know what that means because I asked the host whether or not the Charleston White interview will be on Rumble. It's not like it's just this spooky question. First off, I don't know who would have blocked you on Twitter. That's a lie. Second off, I literally answered that and said I have not put it up, but it will be on the website first. That is the answer. If you're wondering if it's going to be on Rumble, no, it's going to be on Disney Plus. I told you it's going to be on the fucking website. If you don't want to go on the website, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you where else the fuck it's going to be. Same thing that Disney do when they shit come out. When it decide they drop it on Amazon first. They don't tell you when it's gonna be on fucking Disney Plus. So your ass is waiting. When it's gonna be on Disney Plus? Because they don't tell you, because they want you to go to fucking Amazon and buy it. Not tell you, it's gonna be on Disney Plus in 3 weeks. So you just don't go to Amazon and get it. So do me the favor, sir, ma'am, or whatever. I told you where it was going to be on the website. If you don't want to go watch it there, then your fucking ass should just wait till when it's on Rumble, or wait till it's on YouTube, or wait till it show up at your front door on a package from Amazon. But leave me alone with that stupid ass question that you put in the back that you decided to come up here to say like somebody was ignoring you or blocked you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, you good, bro. Remember, I think you had shown on a movie night a documentary a while back. Everything is a rich man's trick, and they had this point in the movie, and I mean, it's a pretty it was a point that many people already knew, but the way they illustrated it was very poignant. So if you're a company like Remington and you make rifles, and then there's a war, and you're selling the government to 3 different countries rifles, and you're making billions upon billions upon billions of dollars every year, and then all of a sudden the war is over and your money stopped, what do you think your attitude to war would be? And that's the same mentality that these grifters have whenever these things happen. It's like, well, what is if there was racial harmony, these niggas won't have no way to make no money. So what do you think their attitude towards it is going to be? And it's in their best interest to stoke the flame. Even if one of these things happen and there's no element to it that you can say, oh, well, this is a racial thing, a black and white thing. They will find a fucking angle. They will they will pull it out of their ass if they have to.
And listen, I try to tell people, if you look at the last 10 years at the racial incidents that's happened, but also look over the past 10 years and look at all the racial incidents that's been debunked and proven that this person set this up and it was a hoax. There have been more hoax racial incidences than actual racial incidences.
Mm-hmm.
So what would that tell you? Because it seems like the supply of racial incidences is not as high as the demand.
True.
So they got to fabricate it. They got to mix it up.
And Tommy, Tommy, a lot of the racial incidents that we do have, when you actually examine it, sometimes it ain't even race, man. It's sometimes remember the dude who was jogging and the white boys chased him down. Now, I ain't gonna chase nobody down from going into a abandoned house that's being built on, but it could have been a white guy or a Hispanic guy. If you're going in there stealing tools and shit, people are going to pursue you and do stupid shit. I don't think it was because the guy was black. I think it was because you was trespassing, motherfucker. That's what it was.
Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Say what you got to say, sir. Libra, you're up here. You came up here. What do you have to say? Unmute yourself. Stop coming up here and typing. Because if you come up here and you type again, I'm just going to block you. There's no reason for you to come up here to type something when you can now talk. So unmute yourself and say something. You got 5 seconds to say something or you'll never be able to come back up here again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As he wrote, so essentially it's a game of greed. Y'all don't think that a kick in the teeth from the people who've been here for years, y'all don't think that's a kick in the teeth from the people who've been here for years. How is it a kick in the teeth about my Charleston interview? My Charleston White interview? Please tell me how you're being kicked in the teeth. Who told you that would be something you were supposed to have? You're watching a show now, but you're still telling me what you're supposed to have? I'm curious about that one. And there's always some dead jackass that want to break up the show, but now you won't get to do it no more. Go ahead, Dion. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, man, a lot of the racial incidents, when you actually look at them, man, you could damn near split that shit and have like, this ain't had nothing to do with race. This has something to do with you doing some shit you shouldn't have been doing, man. You just happened to have been black and they were white. That's all it was. You could have been any other color. The shit still would have played out the same goddamn way.
Well, the truth is they're saying white people are supposed to, again, we were talking earlier, and the whole thing is white people are up so much on us that they don't have the right to be able to now say treat it fair. And that's what blacks have been fighting. And the question that some whites are starting to ask, which is a great question, I remember asking on one of the spaces, when will you say, okay, you've made up for it? You ever notice blacks do not have an answer for that, and they never will? It's hard for somebody that you're trying to make up something to tell you what they want. If you've shown that you're willing to try to make it up, well, then they're enjoying the fact that you're trying to make it up. So they're not going to really tell you any end date for that. If a girl told me, well, I'm going to make up for what I did, I'm going to suck your dick every night, you think I'm going to say, well, that's enough? Chances are I'm going to say, well, no, you still ain't made up for it. Well, unless I can't handle it, then I'm okay, quit. But the whole point behind it is typically people who are doing this, it's not really emotionally hurting them. Because if you listen to blacks, what did they go through?
That's what I was about to say. They didn't experience that bullshit they holler.
So imagine somebody paying you for what your great grandma went through. And they said, well, this is what happened. And they were telling you what happened to what they did to your great grandma. You didn't really know what they did, and you damn sure don't remember your great grandma. Imagine if they was trying to tell you, well, we're going to give you some money for it, though.
Yep. And it's even if they came up with something, it would not be enough. They could say, hey, look,
it's never enough for niggas.
Since you niggas didn't get your 40 acres and a mule, every black person, you get 40 years of no taxes. You don't pay no income tax. Niggas would then be like, well, what about the niggas that ain't working?
It's just the mentality of
unprecedented for you. And if you still have you don't want to take advantage of the opportunity. You just literally want somebody to be forever indebted and forever apologizing to you because that makes you feel good.
That's the mentality of any extortionist. I mean, once you get the money, is that okay? Look, you give me this 100,000. I won't tell nobody about this videotape. I won't tell nobody about this stuff. And then you give it to them. And then 6 months later, when they blow through the money, it's like, look, man, I still got this tape, bro.
Yep. Exactly.
And so I just, and again, I hate that they say, well, because you're black. And I know, brother, I don't know if you are trying to jump in yet, but you can, Marty, if you would like to at any time.
Yes. Okay. I was just gonna say, why don't we start our own stuff? The Israelis do it.
Like building Wall Street back?
Yeah. See, I still got to do some research on that. What was that?
No, he's saying that's one of the things that if we were going to do our own thing. But when you say what you're saying, and I want you to listen to me for a second. When you say, why don't we build our own stuff back? Wouldn't that take away our ability to be able to tell somebody else it's their fault?
Facts.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I would rather work at a job. Let me tell you why people like working at a job. Because you're not having to balance payroll. You're not having to get insurance on everybody. You're not having to make sure the damn lights are on. You don't have to make sure the computers work. You don't have to do any. I'm telling you, if the guy who owns the NFL team, do you know what he got to make sure happens every week before the game is on, before the game actually gets played, versus the quarterback who just got to show up and throw the ball?
What?
The quarterback never worries about how the fans gets there. He never worries about who pays the vendors. He don't worry about any of that. That's out of his hands. But the guy who owns the team, even though, yes, he's rich, do you know how he got to worry about who's trying to sue him that week? Who's trying to extort him?
I mean, do you know how much work it takes just to make payroll every week, to make sure the funds are there to pay your fucking people every week? That's just one aspect of running a business, and that shit is so complicated in and of itself. Then you got to do 100 other fucking things.
And imagine knowing you got to pay everybody else before you pay you.
Yep.
So you might have to take an L or might have to go to a bank and borrow money just to make payroll. Who wants to go through that when all I got to do is make sure I work 40 hours a week and I get a check?
I got to come flip these burgers. That's it.
I get a check. So most people don't want to own the business. They want to work at the company.
And that's just like when you hear things like people saying, like when they're talking about taxes and they're talking about, we just want the billionaires to pay their fair share. It's all a bunch of broke niggas saying, yeah, they should have to pay.
What's the fair share?
They should have to pay 51% or 57% in taxes. That's their fair share. And for somebody who understands reality, it's like, dude, there is nothing, and I mean nothing on this fucking planet that anybody should be able to take half of, 40% of, 30% of. It's like, that's asinine. If somebody gave me $10 and you say you want to take 5 just because, hell no. And it's the same thing as if it's 100,000, you want to take 50? No. If I take 10 million, you want to take 5? But when you broke and don't have shit and you ain't worked for nothing and had to earn nothing and build nothing on your own, you think that is the fair thing to do because you don't have to do anything to create it or to maintain it.
Yep.
That's how these niggas want you to be. How do niggas want you to be penalized because you better at life than them? So if I'm able to parlay an empire and make billions of dollars, you should be able to take half my money. They only taking 27% of your check, but you want them to take 50% of mine because I'm just play this game better.
That's kind of like that.
Or let's just say
that's kind of like that scene from Bad Santa, where Bernie Mac and that little midget guy were going back and forth because Bernie Mac had figured out that they were ripping off the store, and he says, "How much do you want to not say nothing?" And Bernie Mac's like, "I want half." Okay, how about 20%?
Right.
Half.
And you know what's even sadder is when you watch niggas while y'all talking about the money and taxes. Just look at Donald Trump wants to get a no taxes on overtime. I know all type of niggas that work OT.
Yep.
And they Democrats. They like, man, fuck Donald Trump. Fuck. I'm like, dude, you keep complaining that you want people to pay their fair share. But when a motherfucker says, hey, man, I want to give you more of your money that you keep claiming I'm stealing from you, I want to give it back to you, niggas is against that because they always want to have something to argue
Because Trump
about.
racist. Because he's racist.
And it goes against the narrative that maybe, just maybe, this white man got it right. And these niggas that are in Congress got it wrong. They don't
here's the problem with what you're saying. And I'm going to tell you the problem with what you're saying. See, black folks realize if you give everybody their money back, you giving the rich people back more money than you gave me. So they know what they're saying. Yeah, they know what they're saying. They want the rich, even if they say, well, you took 50% of my money and 30% of the rich people's money. They still know the rich people have paid way more into the system and they'll get more from 30% of that rich person's money than 50% of yours. They know it, but they'll pretend that they don't know it. They'll pretend that the numbers matter to them for it to be even. That ain't what matters. That's why when he comes back and say, well, I'm going to give y'all all y'all money back. No. I'm going to still need you to take their money back because poor people want you to give it to the rich man, which is what the Democrats and the leftists have always been. They have always been pseudo-communist or pseudo-socialist, which is those people have a whole lot of money. Even if you take it from them, they won't miss it because the logic is, man, me and my 3 kids live off of $100,000 a year and my wife. You don't need that. So you should be able to give up all them 80 million you got and come down to live at 100,000 like you do.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'm just going to throw this out there. I would be willing to bet that if you polled most Americans, if most people were given a choice to either A, let black people not pay federal or state income taxes for 5 years, or let their tax dollars go to all those fucking illegals that they've been putting up in these 5-star hotels, I would be willing to bet that most people would go with the former. I truly believe that. Keeping their money at home.
It's the mentality of just having people, they think that you should be given something. And people that are not creators, people that don't build, which is typically women. Women don't build shit.
Right.
Women maintain and they manage shit, but they don't build shit. Yep. And because they don't understand and have a respect for that person that thought of the fucking iPhone, the person that thought of the fucking Ford Model T, the person that thought of the fucking cotton gin, whatever the fuck it is. because they don't have an understanding of what a man does and how to create and to build things on your own. They don't understand it, and therefore they will never be able to appreciate it to say, well, hey, if you stay out of my way and out of my pockets, I can provide a life for myself that would be this much better. People don't understand, like you said, no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. Do you know how much money for a person who works an hourly job, how much more money they would be able to make? But they're so busy thinking about what rich folks got. They're so busy thinking about what everybody else got as opposed to what they can actually make. That is a female mentality. That's why women love to have kids and then take you to child support, because now I can see what you got and I can get some of what you got, period. That's it. Because fill in the blank.
Yep. And in addition to that, it's even worse when it comes to our women, black women, because when you spend your life hustling, you on Section 8, low income housing, you getting welfare, you taking the baby daddy to child support, you end up raising the culture, and you got young men. You got millionaire men in the NBA or in NFL. And Brian, you remember this guy. We had a guy who was a wide receiver on the Chicago Bears. The culture, even though he was a wide receiver on the Chicago Bears, they did an undercover sting in Chicago and caught this motherfucker selling kilos. You remember that guy?
Yeah. I can't think of his name, but I remember hearing that. Yep.
We cannot divest from that culture, because no matter how much money you give us, we still gotta fuck it up doing something stupid. That's why you have motherfuckers, or you gotta have pussy, or you ain't no real man in the black community. So now you got NBA players and NFL players who have multiple kids, be on child support, and they fucking shit up.
I'll let somebody else go.
No, you got it.
It's a thing to where we have to realize that, and I know that people think, well, they always talking about black women, they always talking about black women, how they do stuff, and it's like, the reason why it's more problematic for us is because it's at such a disproportionate rate that we have our women running shit and in charge of shit. And because of that, we're constantly breeding a generation that is the same way. The fact that even when you look at the more so-called prominent black folks, they still feed into that. Like we were just talking about Jasmine Crockett. Man, that bitch don't talk like that when she's in them private meetings and them back rooms and sitting on them committees. She ain't up there talking about bust him in the head and he need to shut his damn mouth. And when somebody go punch this motherfucker in the face and wake me up out of my nightmare. She don't talk like that when she's around them white folks for real. When she's in them back rooms, she the one that's quiet, smiling, saying yes sir, no sir. The same coon she'll call somebody else is the very coon that she is when the cameras are off and the internet social media sites are not live. That's what she does. But we buy into that, and we think that that's how she really is.
Yep. Check Tyreek Brian. You think he's sending his kids to Tyreek's kids are going to private school. They know how to count. They know business. They know all that shit.
No, Tyreek,
he ain't teaching them the culture.
Tyreek sent his kids to FDB G Academy. He go to
DMG.
He go to
the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Yeah. He said his kids to his school. He said the white folks, you crazy.
I bet his kids know how to count and know how business and credit work.
Yeah.
He ain't teaching them this culture shit that we doing.
But just think, you let somebody like Umar has been allowed to walk around talking about he got to school for years. And not saying that he can't do it, but ain't nobody said, man, this bullshit, bro. Go on and stop it.
Like that
nobody will say it.
Yeah, like
they won't say it.
But with you, Tommy, when he showed up with the train and all that bullshit, he wouldn't tell his kids that's a wise thing to do. You should do this, act this way. He ain't putting them around none of that bullshit. All these motherfuckers are grifters.
Well, they're not going to do it. And listen, the one thing I can do is appreciate somebody if they know they're doing stupid shit. They don't want the kids to do it. It's two. Y'all know I'm a big believer in. I don't believe the leader is the problem. I believe the followers are the problem.
Yep.
Three. When it comes to this story, and I just got to wrap this up, but I'll come back a little bit later. But we got to wrap this up. I think we're about to do a little over 2 hours in it, so it was a good show. But I think one of the issues that we're facing is it is way too easy for black folks to call racism, and it is impossible for a white person to call racism. And it is several cases that white people are actually dealing with somebody doing something racist. There have been cases where the black person was like, I just came to kill white people. And they still didn't get them on a charge of, what's that damn charge they charge?
Hate crime.
Hate crime.
Yeah, hate crime stuff.
So at some point we got to say, we're never going to be able to deal with anybody else around us if we have carte blanche to be able to say anything we want to, right? And do anything we want to, and they have to understand what we've been through. But then when they do something, it's the worst thing in the world. I can call you a bitch. If you call me a punk, there's a problem. Well, then why is name calling an issue? I saw a video today. I'll put that up when I get done. There's a video of a black man and a black woman in a Dollar Tree. That black woman was whooping his ass. You saw that?
Yes, I sure did.
Whooping his ass. And
that shit was wild.
Right?
But
and
only because his homeboy was telling, hey, don't do nothing to her. Don't hit her. He was just letting her whoop his.
He looked like he wanted to beat the brakes off of her.
Yes, he did.
And he could have. He wasn't no small dude. That nigga was swole.
He could have done it. But here's the problem. When he finally acted like for a second that he was about to whoop her ass, you see that dude jumped on him and said, that's a female.
There it is.
You know that guy could have fucking knocked her in the next fucking Wednesday.
Right. So the fact is,
and he wanted to.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. These kids, father, mother, and brother wanted to call out as many niggas as they could. But like that dude, they got people standing around saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Meanwhile, black folks are like that big old woman, antagonizing, beating, because we know there's this thing that they can't hit us and we can hit them.
Yep.
It's called forced restraint.
Mm-hmm. So
it's forced restraint.
Yep.
So Leviathan,
if you look at that thing, that guy wanted to knock the dust off of that chick, and you could tell by looking at his face he wanted to, but there was also a level of defeat in his face because he knew it was like the ultimate letdown. He knew he wanted to, and he knew he could, but at the same time he knew he couldn't, and it was sad
just to watch him, because there were times where you could see he wanted to hit that woman. He was like, man, maybe she can hit me hard enough to where I'll start bleeding. So when they will understand then that I should be able to hit her back. And the most happened to her is they said, oh, she's fired and she's been charged with assault. And I kept thinking, switch the roles around and let it have been a man doing that to her.
Yep.
Yeah, but you all know she had the software update. So even if he'd have knocked the shit out of her, she'd have been back up in about 5 seconds.
You saw a couple of times where he balled his fist up and he reared back a couple of times and then he stopped himself.
That's when the guy.
What's the video?
He was red eye.
Yeah, the first time he did it, the first time he did it, that's when the girl grabbed him and said, the man grabbed him and said, that's a female. And shouts out to Kent for getting me a shot. Y'all didn't get me drunk, but we got close. Let me go. Let's y'all do me a favor. I'm gonna give y'all all the last words, and then Brian and I are gonna wrap this up. So D, I'm gonna start with you.
I ain't got too much to say, man. I came in a little bit late, but you always have a great show. Made some good points. Made me think about that last thing you said, and great show, man. I hope you come back later on and we continue talking about the topic.
We'll do. Let's go, and thank you for coming on. Let me go to Leviathan. Let me let you go first. Go ahead, Leviathan.
Yeah, thanks a lot for bringing me on. I mean, I kind of came in late, but Tommy, you always do good shows, and you always have great panels. And Brian's the bomb, and all the rest of the fellas are great, and I just really want to thank you letting the resident cracker come up here and have a few words.
Thanks, bro. I miss you. I have to make sure you come back, man. I miss you. You ain't got to hear your voice for a while, so make sure you come back, bro.
And you know what's funny is every day I go to work at the hospital, I canceled all my, get rid of all the TV streaming services and everything. So yeah, every single day you get me to work, you get me going home, and you get me through my day. So I've been listening to you since 2011.
Yes, sir.
So, but anyway,
I'm gonna try to make sure I give y'all more content so y'all can do that. Because when y'all cutting off services, I gotta have stuff for y'all to watch where you watch through the day. I had a lot of people, they'll be like, "Don't do your show until the end," because I get on the road, I get in my truck, do your show then.
Oh no, I get it. No, I get it. But what's neat is the website looks awesome, and if you're not subscribed to the website, go get it.
Yep.
But I was so happy that you threw up that Zoe Williams explanation.
Hey, I'm putting up all the rest of them. I'm finding it. I found them on these hard drives that I got back here. I was looking through them. I got a lot of old stuff. I'm putting it all up.
I'm going to donate some money because I want to see that one where you roasted Hassan. I gotta get that one.
They are. I missed them all, and I looked and I saw one of them. I said, "Oh shit, it's all the old ones," so I can put them back up. And I told him,
you got to put that Skeeter Mills back. Skeeter Mills.
Man, I'm putting all of them, every one of them. I was in a row. I said they all going back up. So I can't wait to get those up. And hopefully, and like you said, I've done a little work to the website. Hopefully, you guys like it.
It looks great. It looks awesome.
Thank you so much. It's working a lot better. So I appreciate the fact that you shouted the website out like that. Yeah. Thank you, my man Leviathan, for coming through.
Thanks, fellas.
All right,
brother.
Marty.
Yes. Oh yeah, great show, Tommy. I always come through. I try to catch it when I can when I'm not working, but great show as always. Hey, I was trying to buy Fatherless America. Do you know where I can get it?
Fatherless America, the website.
Yeah.
Or you go Amazon. Go to the website. It's there. Everybody that's subscribed to the website, they get to see it. But you can also go to Amazon Prime and download it and watch it from Amazon Prime. I don't know how that works. What am I saying? Download? Do you download things on Amazon Prime, or is it just there? However it works, it's just there, I think. But you just go there and buy it, and it's there. You get to watch it like immediately right now. Amazon Prime, and leave a review on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Okay. And another thing, before I go, I just wanted your opinion on the pro-Palestine people that's being deported right now.
They're deporting Are they Americans?
Yeah, they're Americans. That's
they can't do that. That's illegal.
They can't do that.
They just ship your ass off.
I've been watching the news. They've been saying they've been doing it.
Those are Americans.
Palestine so much, bitch. Here you go. West Bank, bitch.
You like them people so much, take your ass over there.
Yes, I really wish that's something they would start.
Man.
For that. But no, I look at it as if that's something they're doing is illegal. But if they're sending back motherfuckers that are from that area, then they should. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't be able to protest for Palestine in the United States. I think those should be laws. You shouldn't be able to protest for China in the United States. You want to protest what's going on in China, you go to China, because that government's going to do something, not us. You shouldn't be able to protest for Ukraine. They're over there killing each other in Ukraine. Well, then tell them to stop.
Exactly.
Supposed to do. We're not killing them. So that's
Thank you. It's so my work. Thank you, Brian. I don't know your name, young. I'm sorry, I call everybody young man.
Yeah, I'm probably twice your age, bro.
Yeah,
we don't mind hearing it. Sometimes it's nice to hear it.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Man, y'all have a good show, man. I'm all
right, man.
All right.
All right, Patrick, with the hat trick, go ahead and you get give us your final word.
You already know, my brother. It's an honor and a pleasure for you to have me up on this space. I really appreciate it. That's why I try to donate frequently, very often. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Twitch. I was only on Twitch because of you. I really only get on Twitter because of you. I'm on Tommy Locals. I get the Telegram. I'm on the website, like all that shit, man. You're a powerhouse in this game, and my gun brother Brian, man, you're a
Yes,
powerhouse
sir.
too, man. I really appreciate you. I think I
Thank you,
was on the
brother.
space with you like one time before, but I follow your stuff too.
Yeah,
And
for
you
sure. I
guys,
appreciate you.
it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. That's all I can say, man. I really
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
And I
Same here,
want,
bro.
yeah, and I want you to know I appreciate you. I know it's been years now, and you've supported everything I've done, whether it been fire or misfire or backfire.
Yes, sir. But as long as we don't misfire with these, we good.
Yes.
I could always just not laugh at a joke. You know, there ain't no harm, no foul. But peace out, my brother. Thank you so much.
And let me get to my brother. Hey, brother, how do you want to roll us out of this show? I've already given my last take on it. What would you like people to take away from this show and this particular incident?
We have to find a better way to service our culture and our people by being able to control our emotions. That's all this comes down to. You don't like me, I don't like you. You was over here, I was over there. You shouldn't have did this, you shouldn't have did. However you want to sum it up, all it comes down to is we had another young black man that could not handle his emotions. And in a situation that didn't even call for it, he stabbed another young man in his heart, and he's no longer here because of what? I'm in a tent that I don't belong in the first place. That's all emotion. And it's the fact that we have these, like you said, for decades, these women that are raising these young men are doing them such a disservice because they cannot function as men and as rational human beings in our society. And it's terrible. And it's going to keep happening until we change that.
If he has a soul, if he has a conscience, imagine what he's going through now. And I don't know if he's had a bail and they got him out. But imagine what he would be sitting there thinking, because we've all been mad at a motherfucker. And some of us got lucky that we karate chopped a bitch, but he didn't break her larynx. Or we kicked a nigga in the face and it didn't break his eye socket.
Yep.
And we're able to sit there and say, man, look how close that came to it could have went worse. But he don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to sit there and eat this.
Yep.
What do you think he was going through his mind because we got to talk to the young kids about that part. He's got to leave with this. He saw, when he asked, is he okay? They eventually told him, and they probably told him this way: we're upgrading your charges from assault
to murder. He's dead.
Imagine his face, a kid, because he's still a kid.
That's it. And that's what I was just about to say. If he hasn't had it yet, there's a moment coming for him when a cell door closes, when those lights are out, where he's going to be by himself, and he's going to realize, I've killed another person, and it's going to be the little boy in him that's going to show up, that's going to have to cry and deal with that loss. That kid ain't a killer. He's from Frisco, Texas. He's not a killer. He's not a killer, but he's listening to the music. He's being led by these women and these ideas of thinking the way that he thinks, and it's going to get him in a cell to where he's all alone. And that little 8-year-old boy is going to show up, and he's going to have to deal with, my God, what have I done? And that's the sad part.
I know we're supposed to be leaving, and we're going to leave, but it's something I truly wanted to get your opinion on this. This is just on the way out the door. I want you to tell me what you think of this, because black folks are talking about it. Look at your screen there, and I'll tell you what's up there too, because I know sometimes you have to look over at the left, but I'll tell you what's up there. What you're looking at is this is honoring Austin Metcalf. Help his family heal. And it is a GoFundMe. And if I reset the GoFundMe, this them white people giving that motherfucker cash money.
Mm-hmm.
I need to start making my videos for white people. But anyway, I've been on GoFundMe for a long time, and I ain't got that.
Yep.
I got 220, and apparently they asked for 240,000. I think they probably just kept moving it.
Yeah.
But they got them white people that came out full force, just like they did to Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yep.
$225,000 and to $225,055. What do you think about that?
I think what we're seeing is how white folks really feel.
Yes. I'm sorry.
That's how they really feel. This is how they really feel. When it's all said and done. That's why you got an anonymous with a $3,000 donation.
Ooh.
This is how they really feel.
They vote with their wallets.
Yep. This is how they really feel. And it's like, this is, we want to make this a black and white thing. This is a society thing. I'm tired. You tired of these boys being put in this situation and put in a disservice from birth. This whole independent single woman, black mama raising up her kid. It's a disservice to us. It's ruining us as a society. It's ruining us as a people, as a culture. This is why we suffer and struggle so much, because we got these women in charge and they're raising boys like this. Because this ain't just about this kid. This about every kid that's in Inglewood, that's in the Wild Hunters, that got Dracos and Glocks with switches on them that we don't hear about. They doing it to each other. This is what it is, and this is where we're at. We have to stop that. I don't know that kid. I don't know that kid's life, but I know that behavior. I done seen that before. I see it. Every time I go back to the hood, every time I go back home, I see it. It's the same behavior. And this is what we going along with. This is what, every time you got these young niggas riding in these real nigga vehicles, as you say.
Yeah, them RNC.
King Von, listening to King Von, listening to FBG Duck. This is what it's programming them to do and how to react. We're literally we're reaping what we're sowing in our young people.
Ooh.
So overreact like that over you in the wrong tent. That's what lets you know where we're at. It's showing you the temperature of our culture, because this kid ain't in the hood, but the behavior's the same.
God, dog. Tell him, Brian. He ain't in the hood. I don't think you know what you said. Please say it again for the people up in the rafters that could not hear it.
This kid is not in the hood, but he's exhibiting the same behavior.
Oh, he had his father.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm telling you, man, Frisco is a dope, it's a affluent, true affluent neighborhood. I mean, like textbook.
Oh, my man Prophecy said he wasn't in the hood, but the hood was in him. The young lady just told me, she said, and I like the saying, she said, them white people put their money where their mouth couldn't be.
Yep.
See, them white people couldn't say they tired of niggas, but that $3,000 donation from that anonymous could.
Yep.
That $225,000 could.
And no,
Red House, didn't he get over $1 million?
Yeah. And just and realize this, people. This ain't for the funeral.
Yo,
this ain't. Hey, his daddy got insurance.
Hey, he was he was buried a long time ago.
Yeah, this ain't. Oh, so they can bury him and help him take care of the bills. This ain't that. It's just, hey, we feel your pain, bruh. We tired of these niggas too.
Ooh.
Go some more money.
And while Tyreek talking bullshit, this random ass white family got this much money. Just so y'all understand, this is a random ass white family they had never heard of.
Yep.
This ain't nobody that was on white folks' radar. But that
nowhere
is on their radar. That feeling of Rittenhouse was on their radar. That feeling of Dylan Roof was on their radar. Because remember, they got him a bunch of money too.
Yep. And I promise you this. I bet you he don't take this money and go buy a new car and go to Vegas and buy some purses and bags and shit like Tyshawn Lee mama did.
And he already had some, but he getting some more.
There it is. That's how you really feel.
I tell you what, I ain't had nothing to say. Brian, instead of him put a sermon together before we got off here. So Brian, why don't you go ahead and tell them if they want to put some money in the relationship rehab pot, tell them what they can do with it.
Hey, you can go to Cash App sign, the relationship rehab. And you can follow me on YouTube, follow me on Rumble, same thing, the relationship rehab. Come holler at your boy.
And I'm gonna put the links in the description box so you guys can go do it. Somebody in your comment section before we go, they wanted to know, what is your stogie of preference?
Well, it's changed a little bit, but lately I've been smoking Drew Estates. So just about anything Drew Estate. I like that Liga T52 and the Drew Estates Isola del Sol. If we come back tonight, I'll flame up one.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
We'll come back. Ladies and gentlemen, this has probably been one of the most fun shows I've done in a while. And I think it's because I haven't done a show with you in a while. So there you go. Yep. I appreciate everybody watching and listening. I'm going to go eat, and then we'll come back and we'll do it. And I don't know if we'll do it this way because I actually like this way, or we may do it with the space. But we'll come back and we'll talk because I think just people like Tyreek, she just pissed me off. And you're stoking the flames.
Yep.
That you're not going to have to deal with the fucking fire. It ain't going to go to Chatsworth. It's not going to go to your neighborhood there.
Nope.
You trying to get niggas mad to go do what? I don't know. Because like Outkast said, shouts out to Atlanta, Georgia. Like Outkast said, them people got shit that'll hit you from where they lay.
Yeah.
White people ain't got to come see you. They got something to come see you.
True that.
We don't want what we think we want. We don't.
Nope. Hey, brother, I love you, man. If you come back, I'm coming back.
I love you too. That's my man Brian. Y'all gonna put all the links in the description box. Y'all can go and check him out. I appreciate every one of y'all for being here. We are